Hello, everyone.
So,
Welcome
welcome
to our
back.
first video episode of Psyched Up Cinema, as long as everything goes well, which I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
So, on edge. Today, we're talking about another movie.
we do tend to do that.
We do talk about that as part of Psyched Up Cinema.
That is
May
the cinema part.
may branch off to a TV show, potentially, later
Okay.
for an anniversary episode. No, not for
Oh,
us,
okay,
but for
okay.
the show.
Thought you were
Uh,
saying this episode in
this
particular.
episode's an anniversary. Uh, So yeah, welcome back. It's been a little while since Narnia. This is also Kate's pick because it's a weird order.
Yeah.
But now that we're video, we will have shorter episodes coming out soon. So it's shorter, more digestible 10-15 minute episodes.
Maybe some TikToks, some just short clips from full videos, stuff
hmm
like that.
Yeah. So it'll be fun times for the show. I would say this is like a psyched up cinema 2.0. I would say we're pretty
In our
psyched.
new era. We're
Y-
in our video
We're
era.
in a video era. We're out of the silent era, the radio era. What better movie to start that off than a movie that represents imagination and reading
I don't
and
know what
think.
that has to do with video, but you tried. This is you reaching.
Well, technically, Matilda hates TV, kind of. She loves her books. She explodes
Yeah.
TV. Anyways, what movie are we talking about?
I think you just spoiled it a little bit.
Whoopsies. Today, we're talking about Matilda. As we mentioned, this was Kate's pick. Now, why did you pick this movie?
It's just such a cute movie. There's just so much wholesomeness in it. I love a good resilience story. And I mean, you can't argue. It's just so cute.
Yeah, it is a cute movie. This is my first time seeing it, so it was.
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about the real reason I picked this one, okay? I took a family therapy class in grad school. And someone really wanted to cover this movie for their mock session, so I got to play Danny DeVito in a mock family therapy session. Let me tell you, I embodied that role. I should put actor on my resume
You
because I
should.
killed it. I killed it. I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, I just thought that was fun.
Can you do your Danny DeVito voice for us?
There's no voice. It's just personality. It's all personality, no voice.
Alright, then do your personality
Don't put me in the spot like that.
then.
Damn. We'll see if it naturally makes an appearance. If not, then fine.
Okay, alright. Well, alright, I'll put you on the spot later again. Before we hop into
Why can't you just be like a normal kid? Eat TV dinners, watch TV game shows. God, you're such a loser.
I
You
think
just want to read those books. What an idiot.
should go a little bit more raspy. Can't you can't you watch TV? I can't do it either. I need to
My
smoke.
voice doesn't do
I need to
that.
smoke a few more
Sorry.
cigarettes. Before we hop into it, be sure to follow us on our social medias: Instagram,
TikTok,
TikTok,
YouTube,
YouTube, yeah,
Spotify.
Spotify. Last two aren't really
Download our
social medias,
episodes
but
as well.
yeah, download episodes and tell people. But yeah, so with Matilda, what are we talking about? What's the psychological topic? Half the part of the show.
Dysfunctional family roles.
Dysfunctional families.
You may
Favorite.
or may not have heard some of them. I feel like a lot of them are kind of common terminology now, but
Mhm.
some of them not so much. So maybe something you know already and something new as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about it, so we're gonna be going in. I don't know anything about dysfunctional families, so
You might just not know it by the name.
yeah, probably. I saw some of the things we'll get into because of things you show me, like certain names and certain ideas
Mm,
I recognize. So, so what's Matilda about? What's the jazz? Well, Matilda, the summary is a girl gifted with a keen intellect and psychic powers use both to get even with her callous family and free her kindly school teacher from a tyrannical
tyrannical,
tyrannical
like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus from a Tyrannosaurus Rex grip of a sadistic Headmistress. There you go.
Yeah,
When
that about covers it.
yeah, about covers it, yeah. It was released August 2nd, 1996, so next year, this movie will
Damn,
be 30 years old. Um,
neither of us were born.
Neither of us were born,
I was not even a thought.
but it's crazy to think that this movie came out 4 years before we were born, and it's almost 30.
Ooh, I don't like that perspective. Put that back in your mouth. Thank you.
Well, for your perspective, you are closer to 30. You're getting closer to 30.
Oh, don't say that.
I still have this till December till the 30 clock starts ticking, so
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It was directed by Danny DeVito, and it stars Mara Wilson as Matilda. The budget was $36 million. It grossed
Damn.
47 million worldwide. But kind of like what we mentioned with the Narnia episode, 1996. Narnia didn't come out in 1996, but still the era of no, not Blu-rays, DVDs, Blockbuster. So it made its money back that way.
Physical media.
Yeah, so it made a good amount of its popularity there. Uh, Not really a fun fact, but it was something that I found interesting. So, the person who played Matilda, Mara Wilson's mother, passed away of breast cancer during the production of Matilda, and the film is dedicated in her mother's name, which is sad. So,
I'm not sure if you came across this in your research, and I'm not sure if this is true, but I've seen it in multiple places, so I think it's true that she didn't make it all the way until the film was finished. So Danny DeVito actually visited Mara Wilson's mother in the hospital to show her uh one of the more final cuts of the
mm,
movie to make sure she was able to see it before she passed away.
oh, okay. I don't think I heard of that.
If I'm pulling that out of my ass or someone on the internet made it up, you can cut it, but
Oh, I'll fact check you
yeah,
on that.
fact check me. I don't wanna be spreading fake news over here.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really win any awards or anything like that.
Really?
The movie was well liked.
I'm sorry, how could you not like that movie? That's the thing, like, if you don't like it.
It is a good time. The movie is really fun. And that was one of the biggest things I liked about it. So yeah, really, there was kind of short movie summary for this one, but there just wasn't really much to talk about. There wasn't like any like
Well, it's kind of a
controversies
shorter
or anything.
movie anyway.
Yeah, short movie. Um,
I've seen behind the scenes clips of Danny DeVito interacting with the kid actors, and it's just so wholesome. He's just always checking in and making sure they're doing
mm.
okay.
Well, I love that little behind the scenes thing that we watched, where it's Mars like little documentary.
Mm,
It was just fun. It seemed like everyone just on that set was having a good time. It just seemed like
yeah.
a good energy. It seemed like no one was depressed. So
Which it's so interesting to see Mara in the state she was in, just having a good time on set while all this shit was going down in her personal life,
yeah.
and I like to think that it was kind of a light in a really hard time to be a part
Mhm.
of that movie and be surrounded by really supportive people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't really imagine going through that situation and acting, trying to be a lighthearted character while dealing with that at home. It's not a good situation.
Another thing that I have seen online, again, cut it if I'm wrong, but I've heard that Danny and his wife actually took Mara in on some days where her mother just wasn't able to care for her because she wasn't doing well enough,
Mm,
and so she stayed with them
mm.
pretty often.
I didn't look too far into it, so maybe it's true.
Gotta do your research, buddy. Why am I doing your part?
Hey, you found this on like TikTok. I'm not on there, so
It
you're
was Instagram, and you didn't delete it that long ago, so
I haven't had Instagram since, like,
don't
6
act
months.
like Matilda hasn't existed long before Instagram,
I
okay?
never seen Matilda, so if I saw a fun fact, I didn't care to watch it 'cause I was like, "Fun fact about Matilda." I'm like, "I've never seen this movie," and I just, like, go away.
Shame on you.
But yeah, uh, so with the movie summary over, what are some more thoughts on the movie? What'd you like about this movie?
I think it's just overall such a fun movie with the visuals and the it's a heavy concept, the whole abuse and murder plot line. Um, but they handle it in such a fun, uplifting way. It's kind of an interesting contrast.
Yeah, the movie is really on the surface level kind of dark. I want to say themes because the movie doesn't have dark themes, but it's like the horrible headmistress, terrible
Who
family,
murdered, Miss Honey's dad.
allegedly.
Allegedly, don't sue us.
uh, and then the terrible family. I think
Mm,
the reason why it works and it doesn't feel depressing or terrible is because Danny DeVito, as a director, took it in a way and made those characters larger than life and
mm,
comical. Where when Danny DeVito is being an asshole, it's still funny because
yeah,
he's performing it that way. Instead, with the headmistress or yeah,
mhm,
headmistress. Okay, um, she is a complete ass, but it's so funny to just watch her
yeah.
be this complete goofball character.
It's so absurd. It's like these are not real people, so you don't really feel that emotional heaviness
Yeah.
connected to it because it's ridiculous. It's like watching a clown performance. Like, this is not a real person. These are not things that real people do. It's a caricature.
Yeah, and that's how I think all the characters really are in this movie, and I think
Yeah.
it works. I wouldn't say every character, but I think it works for the most part where even the children at school, like, there's the chubby kid who eats the cake, like, he doesn't
Mhm.
have much of a character, but his caricature is funny, and it
Yeah.
fits in with that scene, and also the little girl with pigtails, the little blonde one,
Mhm.
uh, same with her, she isn't much of a character, but, like, when she's on screen, she's funny, and especially when
Yeah.
she gets, like, thrown over the fence. But yeah, and I just think also something that this movie does really well, it has a nice visual, iconic visual style to it. I don't really know how to describe it. There's a lot of Dutch angles, which I really like. It's just it feels so kind of flowy because it the camera's constantly moving, it's being pushed around, it's being spun, it's being Dutch angled.
Mm.
It just has it feels like it's off sticks most of the movie and it's constantly moving in a way where it just kind of gives it a little bit more of a whimsical feel to it.
I think it also kind of puts you in a childlike role as the viewer,
Hmm.
kinda takes you down to what, Matilda's experiencing by just having the camera kind of more free moving,
Yeah.
like a kid would be running around.
Yeah, and I was also gonna mention too, one of the notes was that there's a lot of low angle shots in this movie,
Mm.
where from Matilda's perspective, and I guess I can touch on it now. But I think the low angles add a great, like, campy feel to it, especially when they get really close to the camera. And there's
Yeah.
this cool thing that you can do with, like a wide angle lens. So wide angle lenses tend to be in the smaller millimeters, but it causes the frame to be really wide. Like when you change your phone to point 0.5, like
Mm.
that's a wide angle.
To take a photo of a dog snoot
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that point
Well,
five is
that's
good
a great
for.
example. When you take that point 0.5 photo, everything expands.
Mhm.
So when you put it up really close to the face looks really dysmorphed, and
Man,
that's
I
exactly what they
love
did.
point five dog and horse photos.
Even point 0.5 photos are just funny, like, if it's putting
Yeah.
the camera up to someone's forehead or something.
I'll tell a short funny story. So our dog is a therapy dog and I'm his handler and I take him to mostly colleges for visits and he was at one point surrounded by at least 5 college students at once, all trying to take point fives of his snoot.
It's funny, I take the best point 0.5 photos though, because
I like the one of him in the bathtub covered in
that
soap.
was funny, yeah.
Point five.
But the movie does that a lot, and it adds, like, a nice dysmorphic look to the face where it still makes him feel larger than life because they're, like,
Yeah.
taking up the entire
It
screen.
just really enhances the absurdity of all of it
Yeah,
and gives you that child point of view.
and it shows, like, all the characters, like, pores and
Mhm.
sweat and stuff like that.
The close-ups on that kid eating the cake were oh my god, I just felt my stomach turn as he just kept shoveling it in his mouth.
Well, even the way they cut that whole scene together, 'cause they cut shots between the kid eating and the headmistress, and then there's, like,
Mhm. The
these
audience.
the audience shots, and then there's, like, weird, like, kind of classic looking shots, like, there's one with, Matilda and her friend, and it's, like, almost like a projection on the
Mhm.
screen, and then the one shot I really like is the cake gets put in front of the kid, and it goes really close to his face and then down, and then it shows the entire frame is basically just taken up by the whole
Mhm.
cake. That's where that wide angle lens really comes to play. I think they use that a ton in this movie, and it works
Yeah.
really well. Something else I also mentioned because I mentioned there's a lot of, low angle shots with this. A lot of those low angle shots where they get really close to the camera is mostly, I wouldn't say mostly, but it's a lot with her father, Danny Via's character,
Mm.
and the headmistress, and her teacher, what's her teacher's name again?
Miss Honey.
Miss Honey. Miss Honey, there's some low angle shots there, but she never gets that wide angle, close to the camera
Hmm.
look,
Interesting.
and I think it's because
That
it
would take away her whimsy
take away her Wednesday.
if you saw all her pores and sweat and all that.
I was thinking more that she she's definitely the character that respects Matilda the
Mm,
most,
doesn't
especially
make her
adult.
feel lower
Yeah,
than.
yeah, or tries to make herself feel bigger than Matilda. She doesn't really do that. She has a lot of respect for Matilda.
Yeah.
There's only one shot that I remember where it's a low angle shot, but it's not like close to the pores of the face and stuff like that. Just a low angle shot. So I like how it's not something they just do for everyone. It's
Mhm.
just they pick the characters to do it for, and it works really well with those characters they decide to do it with.
Well, it's definitely done with intention behind it, which I
Mhm.
feel like obviously that makes it more effective when there's a purpose for it and it's not done just because.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes a good movie, is purpose.
Mm, facts.
But yeah, I've been yapping a lot. What are some things you like about the movie?
You really covered a lot of it. The absurdity of the characters, how they really are larger than life. And there's such a contrast between these ridiculous characters that are very obviously caricatures. And then there's Matilda and Miss Honey, where it's like the flowers and sunshine and rainbows and all this whimsy. And Miss Honey lives in a little cottage in the forest.
Yeah. I mean, I have you ever read the Matilda book? Have you ever read the children's book?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. So I was kind of curious if you had like any reference of the source material.
No. Fun fact, the first time I saw Matilda, I was on vacation with my family, and they all decided to go out to a restaurant, and I was like, "Nah, I'm tired." So I stayed behind the hotel, and I turned on the TV, and Matilda was playing. I was like, "Ah, I'll watch it." I've never seen this movie before. And then my family comes back, and they're like, "Yo, we just met the guy from Deadliest Catch at the bar. It was crazy." Alright, I don't even remember the guy's name, but then we saw him drunk on a jet ski the next day. Shout out to him, I guess.
His name's probably like Greg or something.
I couldn't for the life of me remember that man's
I can't
name.
believe you don't know the main character of Deadliest Catch
I don't
on
even know if
the
he's a main character or what. I don't even know why my dad recognized this man.
um but yeah, I guess that's a fun fact, I guess. You got to watch Matilda instead of being the Deadliest Catch guy.
I'd do it again.
Something else I really like too that adds to the canvas is the visual effects because they
You're just thinking of the Deadliest Catch guy, that's why you're laughing.
yeah. Uh, but like when the kid gets thrown out the
Yeah.
window and it looks terrible, but it's so
And
funny.
she lands perfectly in the flowers, like she's just sledding.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that one. Talking about the other one towards the end of the movie where she throws the boy out the window and then
Oh,
Matilda psychics him back.
he's like a boomerang.
There's not a ton of visual effects green screen like that in the movie, but when it's in there, it looks so funny.
It's so goofy and there's a charm to it.
Yeah. I think it just plays into this thing where Matilda has a drive for I guess knowledge or just learning. just experiencing the outside world, I would say, and she
Mhm.
gets that her outlet through books. And the movie does a good job just being creative with the way they do things, the way the characters act. They're larger than life, the way the camera moves and it flows. Also a very colorful movie at times.
Mhm.
Um,
And the contrast in the color is really effective as well when you see oh, what's it called? That closet that Miss Trunchbull puts
oh, I know
people
what you're
in.
talking about, yeah.
Oh my god, what was the name of that? It was the something.
Um,
I keep thinking of The Hole, but that's what they call solitary confinement in prison. It's not The Hole.
the Chokey.
The Chokey. You see that, and the angle and the colors, it just emphasize, like, the doom of the Chokey, but then you get to Miss Honey's classroom when Miss Trunchbull isn't there, and you got little works of art
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's just bright and colorful, and there's so much creativity and all these projects all over the place, and then when Miss Trunchbull comes in, they pull this brown paper down over it, and it's like, "Okay, everyone cover up the color."
I was also gonna mention that too. When they're trying to cover up the classroom, even then it just becomes way more dull.
Mm,
And the way even the Trench Bowl's house, well, which was Miss Honey's house, is just feels way more dreary and
yeah.
depressing.
Well,
And I
she
would
took down anything with character and stuffed it in a spare room.
yeah. What a weird life she lives. Just imagine living in the house that
Just eating 1 chocolate after dinner every night just by yourself in this very creepily open floor plan.
uh yeah, it's just the movie is such a good time. It's such a fun movie. Um and I'm glad we picked it cuz or you picked it. We didn't pick it. I did buy
Give me
it
my
though. So,
credit. Yeah, you bought it, but it was my idea.
shout out to Bull Moose in New Hampshire.
That place is cool as
That place
hell.
was cool. So, if you guys like physical media, go
Would
check
go
out
back.
Bull Moose in New Hampshire, and there's one in Maine, I think. I remember because we were driving to Maine. That's why we
Yeah.
passed it. Trying to think. Oh, we got to talk about the boat salesman.
I love that subplot. It's so funny.
it's so stupid, but it's also hilarious at the same time.
Well, it also it enhances how ridiculous these people are and how careless his con is. He just thinks he's never gonna get caught, and the wife just is bored and wants someone to talk to, and she's like, "Nah, they're just boat salesmen." She's just so gullible in contrast with Matilda's intelligence, which they put her down for, but could have gotten them out of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they break into her garage and stuff like that, and she does the stupid green screen trick with the tape and stuff, and
Mhm.
another green screen moment. I just think I love movies that have those stupid side plots, and they're not uh ham-fisted or not done too much. It has
Mhm.
that perfect balance of just enough, but not too little either. I
Yeah.
feel like I got my taste of them, and they say one line with the boat salesman. I forget what he says when he's leaving the house when because they're sitting down talking to the wife, and Danny
Mhm.
Vito comes in, he's like, "Get out," and then the one guy who plays, Pee Wee Herman, uh, says something, I forgot what he says. I think it's, like, one of the only things he says to the family besides that one scene in the garage.
I don't remember.
Uh, I just think overall, we kind of touched on it a few times, but the side characters in this movie, while they're not super in-depth, they're not, like, in-depth characters, but they're good characters, they're funny.
Yeah.
They
Like, Matilda's friend Lavender who puts the newt in the pitcher.
Yep,
Um, the little girl with the pigtails that gets thrown, the kid that eats
the
the
cake.
cake, the boat salesman.
And then even the ones that are a little bit higher up, like all the family members, even like we haven't talked about much, but her brother
Mm.
is really good too. He's not in a ton.
He doesn't say a whole lot either.
No, he doesn't, but when he says something, it's funny usually.
I think also his silence is methodical because that's how he kinda stays out of trouble with the family, is just do what's expected of him and keep his mouth shut, and
Yeah.
Matilda's the one that can't stop talking, and she always gets in trouble, so he just shuts up and watches TV, and that's how he stays out of trouble.
I think he kind of respects his dad, though.
Yeah. Well, even in the scene where they go to his shop, he's like, "One day, son, this is all gonna be yours." And he shows how you glue a bumper back on and you increase the price of a car that doesn't actually cost that much.
That's such a funny scene, and it only comes up once. And then when Miss Honey goes to their house, he gets all defensive when she mentions the lawyer about a bad car. He's like, "What do you mean? Like, who are you talking to?" Uh, it's just even if side characters aren't in depth, at least they play into Matilda's character, and
Yeah.
I feel like every one of them does something that helps Matilda in a way.
Mm.
So even if a side character isn't, like, in depth, they all play into the main character, which, in my opinion, leads to a good side character.
Well, for example, the kid that eats the cake, it, leads Matilda to the decision to stand up and to cheer for him, and then the whole school follows suit, and they're all cheering for him.
Mhm. And I think you could make the argument too that the girl that puts the newt in the water also inspires Matilda later on in the movie to cause chaos within the Trenchbull's house and in the
Yeah.
classroom later. Um, she does defend her dad though, which
I was thinking about that. Even with the boat salesman thing, she knows that he's a con man, but she still tries to keep him out of trouble, which is interesting.
I think it's probably because, well, 1, she's smart, and 2, she knows the worst
Burley knows
alternative.
that DCF's gonna pull up, and that's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, so I think she knows the alternative is bad, but then it ends off with them, with Miss Honey adopting Matilda, so I guess she won in the end. Um,
She was playing chess, not checkers.
she was playing 4D chess, and it had all the adoption paperwork already.
Yeah, she had signed her parts and everything. She had marked where they need to sign.
Yeah, we gotta beat the boat salesman to the airport. Um, yeah, the movie's a good time. I'm glad I'm gonna keep saying we.
Taking my credit away.
I'm glad you picked it. Two solid picks back to back. I would say, do you prefer Narnia or this movie?
Matilda.
I would say so too. Till is a better movie than this Narnia. Something I forgot to mention last episode too. Completely off topic, but Greta Gerwig is making a new Narnia movie. Which
Which one?
what do you mean? Which one?
Like a remake of
Oh,
The
yeah, it's a
Lion, Witch,
remake.
and the
Yeah,
Wardrobe?
yeah. I thought you meant which Greta Gerwig. I'm like, there's only one. Like,
The Imposter.
not the Barbie Greta Gerwig,
The other one.
the one from like Oklahoma or something like that. um, but yeah, anything else you want to talk about in terms of the movie before we talk about family dynamics? Anything like that?
I don't know. Can't really think of anything.
Okay. So, what is the psychological topic today?
We're talking about dysfunctional family roles.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! What do you know about dysfunctional family roles? I'll get your basis of knowledge before I go into my part here.
Um, so dysfunctional family roles are roles within a dysfunctional family.
Oh my god, you're so smart. How'd you figure that out?
I'm a film major, so what can I
That's
say?
true.
We're really smart as film majors.
You wiped your ass so hard with that degree that this knowledge came out.
um, I would say, well, as my previous sentence, there's different roles in dysfunctional family, and kind of like normal roles in a family. The dysfunctional ones are different aspects that could like, I know one of them, and I know this is gonna come up, is, like, the scapegoat, like, the kid that always gets blamed for
Mhm.
everything, and I saw one of the ones when you're doing your research, like, the golden child, the one that's, like, perfect. So it's different roles like that, and if you ask me to list you any other roles, I probably wouldn't be able to besides those 2.
What do you think the purpose is for
Um,
those roles?
like, why they exist,
Yeah.
or
What motivates a kid or a parent or whatever to take on that role?
well, I don't think a kid wants to be motivated to be the scapegoat or the one that's blamed. Uh,
Well, more so, why does the dynamic in the family create that role? What purpose does that role serve, is a better way to phrase that.
I don't know. I don't
All right.
know.
Should we just get into it then?
Yeah, let me chug my water real quick.
Okay. Anyways, so I found this information from somebody named Chris Ward. She posted on her website Slow and Wild Studios. She is a dancer, choreographer, somatic movement teacher, and self reclamation coach with a background in marriage and family therapy. So, shout out to Chris Ward. I will be putting the link in the description for this episode. So, if you want to check out the website, totally go for it. It's a really interesting article.
That's something I don't think we mentioned is all of our sources and every one of our episodes are in the description, as
We
long as
don't
they have sources.
plagiarize here.
I don't think we've ever advertised that. They've always been in the description as long as we use sources, at least as far as I'm aware. Um, so yeah, if you ever wanna double check us on anything, you can check our sources in the description.
Mhm. So, family roles develop as adaptive survival strategies, which help children navigate unpredictable, neglectful, or chaotic environments. They're kind of like archetypes. Many of them overlap or shift depending on circumstances, but they tend to persist into adulthood until consciously challenged and healed. So sometimes you may embody a dysfunctional role that you had in childhood and not really mean to, but you fall into it because it's a survival tactic and
Mhm,
it becomes habit, basically. It's how you got by. So you just keep doing what has worked for you in the past until you recognize it as being an issue now that you're through that chaotic time in your life,
mhm,
and then you have to consciously undo that,
mhm.
which sucks. That's one thing that really sucks about healing from family trauma is other people cause that trauma, but it's your responsibility to undo it.
Yeah.
Doesn't that suck ass?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, dynamic. So it's so correct me if I'm wrong. So it's let's just say some kid grows up as like the scapegoat kid, the one that gets blamed for everything, and they develop behaviors that they gathered from being in that family. But let's just say they move out and they don't live with their family anymore. They still have those behaviors, so it's up to them to readjust themselves.
Pretty much. So a child that's used to being the scapegoat might automatically blame themselves for anything that goes wrong, even into adulthood when they're away from their family.
Mm.
The golden child may grow up to always be seeking affirmation from other people. But anyway, we'll get into that. Um, so we'll start with the golden child. The golden child is known as the favorite, the perfect one, or the hero. Their role is being the high achiever, being the good child, and the one that makes the family look good.
Mm. Okay.
So they're the kid that the family points to and goes, "Oh, we did something right as parents. Because look at how perfect this one is." This role exists to serve as proof that the parents did a good job and upholding the illusion of a functional family because the golden child's supposed to act like nothing's wrong. They're
Mhm.
never supposed to challenge anything. And that's why the parents like them.
Mm.
But what do you think some problems that can cause in adulthood?
Well, you had mentioned that they don't put up much of a fight, so maybe just kinda going with the flow, being very passive, I would say is
Mm,
maybe one of them. Being a people pleaser would probably be another one. Um, probably being no, not I wouldn't say overachiever, but trying maybe like a perfectionist, trying to live up to a certain expectation. Uh, that's all I could think of.
What do you think might happen if they start to feel like they're having a hard time?
We kind of briefly mentioned this, maybe seeking other people's approval.
What might they do with their own feelings if they notice that they're struggling?
Do something that makes them feel rewarded?
Mm, stuff it down. We're not allowed to have bad feelings as the golden child.
Oh, I thi
Stuff it down. Stuff it down. You don't have bad feelings. They don't exist. Put them away in a box.
so it's like toxic positivity?
Just emotional suppression.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be masked by the "I'm doing great. I'm doing great." It's
Mhm,
just any negative thoughts, feelings, whatever, put them away.
mhm,
Don't let them see the light of day. So the website says common traits in adulthood for the golden child are kind of exactly as you said, overachiever, perfectionist, struggling with self-worth outside of what their achievements are.
mhm,
So they might not see themselves as a useful person outside of their academic achievements or what they do in sports,
mhm.
whatever it might be.
I'm really smart to get most of that, so
They feel a pressure to have it all together, so they suppress any struggles that they're having. They might not ask for help. They might struggle with deep guilt and carry too much responsibility for the family, and they could resent the weight of expectations but not know how to set boundaries with people.
Mhm.
And the next one, the scapegoat. What do you know about being a scapegoat? What does that mean?
It's the goat that escapes.
It's not a scapegoat.
uh, is it a similar question to the other ones? And what traits could an scapegoat
Yeah.
have? Uh,
It's scapegoat, not escapegoat. It's a scapegoat.
a scapegoat or a scapegoat?
Scapegoat.
Scapegoat? Like
Scape, like landscape.
Can we get the scapegoat, please? Is that part of the family
Goat
dynamics?
simulator.
The scapegoat, I would say, it traits that they would have would be,
Or
um
what's the dynamic in the family? What is their role?
oh, to get blamed all the time.
Yep. They're the bad child, the one
Mhm,
that gets blamed for everything, but they're the one that speaks the truth and disrupts the family's illusion of perfection. So they're kind of undoing the work that the golden child's doing, and that could create kind of resentment between them because the golden child is like, I'm going to make this family look good so that they tell me how great I am.
mhm,
And the scapegoat is, I'm tired of this. I'm blamed for everything. So I'm going to expose how bad this family is.
mm,
So, even if each kid is inherently a good person, they might have tension between them just because of the dynamic it creates when one kid is held in higher regard than another.
yeah,
So, that can create a difficult relationship even into adulthood for kids put in those kinds of dynamics. And maybe neither of them really did anything wrong,
mhm,
just the position they were put in and how they were treated differently.
mm,
Which again is sad because then it becomes their responsibility to undo that even though they didn't do it in the first place.
yeah. Well, I think this idea is similar to a lot of things where people are kind of just born in situations that they didn't ask for, that they were forced into
Mm,
at birth, and I mean that's kind of like this. Not, I'm not gonna say it as to say not as bad as a poor way to put it, but something that could have been fixed by the parents or family, but refused not to. It's not like being born into poverty because it's not easy to get be born
Yeah.
out of or
The
get put out
families
of poverty.
have
Yes.
control over it, they just choose not to fix
Right,
it.
it's not like it's not the same as being born into poverty where it's like you are very limited to what you can
Mhm.
do and you have to survive in the environment that you're in. So it's I wouldn't say it's as bad as that, but it's similar to you're born put into this situation. It could have been fixed by your parents or family,
In
and
a
it
way, that
wasn't.
makes it harder because you have to come to terms with the fact that your parents could have at any point said, "This isn't right,"
Yeah.
and they decided not to because they wanted to look good.
Would you say well, harder than what? Like harder
Than growing up in poverty.
you think so?
I think case by case
Yeah.
situation, I don't like saying that any one trauma is worse than another, especially because having one person having it worse than another does
Yeah.
not alleviate the other
Yeah,
person's
that's true.
pain. Like, if you broke your leg and I got a paper cut, your broken leg would not make my paper cut hurt less. Your problem might be worse, but if you sit around and yell at me and tell me to stop bitching and moaning about my paper cut, it's not gonna fix it. So, I don't like
That's
comparing
fair.
things like that, but it's just different
Yeah,
struggles.
probably me saying worse is not a good way to put it, but I would say it's similar to where you're being born and put in a situation and you can't necessarily fix it.
Yeah.
Or you could, but it's extremely difficult.
Mhm. Or it's not your choice.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do can get your family out of poverty. Nothing you can do can change your parents' minds about being assholes.
We could just hit the lottery and that's how you get out of poverty. So
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just make myself poor by buying lots of lottery tickets, and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, the scapegoat exists because their rebellion draws attention away from the parents' failures. The family can unite against them instead of confronting deeper issues. Instead of saying, this kid's rebellion is a result of our shit parenting and the fact that they don't like us, they can say, this is a bad kid, and we need to make sure that we punish them because they're bad. We're going to point at them and say, bad kid. Bad kid do bad thing.
That's how all parents punish their kids. They say
Yes.
bad
A
kid do bad
bad kid.
thing.
Bad kid do bad thing. How do you think a scapegoat might end up in adulthood?
This probably doesn't fit into what you're expecting, but I'd probably say resentful or building resentment.
Mhm.
Uh, possibly trying to find a way to put this in one word, but wanting to be heard or
Mhm.
being very vocal,
Yeah.
outspoken, I guess that's a good way to put it.
You are using the exact keywords in here.
I'm just such a smart film major. Uh,
Telling you, you should have gone into social work.
I should have gone to social work and I'd work like 2 days a week and I'd make a lot more money.
Yeah, after 2 years of working in community mental health, then maybe you can make good money. You gotta
um,
hustle for it, though. I'm
every
on
day.
my way there. I celebrated 1 year on my license
Hell
the
yeah.
other day.
I'm not celebrating much, so
1 more year, and I can go for my independent license.
um trying to think of anyone else or anything else for the scapegoat. Scapegoat, not a scapegoat. I keep saying that. Uh
That goat keeps
every
escaping.
episode there's one thing that I can't say. Like the the psyched up award show where I said Lady
Lady
Gaga.
Gaga!
I don't know why I kept saying that. I think there was one in Narnia where I couldn't say. Just every episode is one word that I can't say or one character
Mr.
saying
Tumnus, that's
Mr.
what you can
Thomas.
say. Mr.
Okay,
Hummus.
okay. I can say Mr. Tumnus, but I would prefer to say Mr. Hummus.
Anyway.
So there's a difference between
Oh,
not the inability to pronounce and I prefer Mr.
it
Hummus.
started with the inability to pronounce. It became a joke to mask that. The scapegoat in adulthood is often outspoken and independent, but they struggle with their self-worth.
Mm,
So, even though they're the one that speaks up, they still have those childhood wounds of everyone thought that I was doing everything wrong all the time, so they might doubt themselves a lot. They feel ostracized from their family even if they do still love them. They often become the cycle breakers in healing, so they're the ones that stop the cycle of abuse.
Mm,
So maybe if they go on to have their own children, they'd be the ones that choose not to follow
yeah,
what their parents did.
I think that one definitely makes sense.
But they can carry intense resentment and anger, feeling like they were the only one punished for the family's dysfunction.
Sounds about right to me. So I think, yeah. I mean, I can't really think. Obviously, this person written by somebody a lot smarter than me, so I can't really think of anything else to add on to that. But I think that definitely makes complete sense.
So now we have a role that we'll see if you're familiar with this one. This
Bro.
one's called the caretaker, also known as the peacemaker, the fixer, or the parentified child.
Well, the fixer's definitely the one that kills people. So
Huh?
you've never heard the term the fixer?
No.
Wow, somebody kills somebody
Oh,
or kills people.
no.
Anyways,
Can't say I've ever done that. So,
you've never been a fixer in your life. Uh, am I supposed to guess what they do in the family?
yeah, what's their role?
Well, just based off the fixer and the peacekeeper, I would say they try to find common ground between the different roles. Maybe try a bargain with one another, but also maybe I could see like a an evil side approach where they play both sides, kind of like a
Oh,
game of chess.
whoa. So the caretaker is one that emotionally or physically cares for others, often at the expense of themselves. They act as an emotional sponge. They regulate the moods of the parents and siblings to keep the family appearing stable.
Mm,
In adulthood, they might feel overly responsible for other people's feelings. They try to take care of everyone. So that means they struggle with people pleasing, boundary setting, all those kinds of things. They feel really intensely guilty for saying no to anyone,
mhm.
even if it's for the benefit of themselves, which everyone deserves to put their well being first. Can't pour from an empty cup. I say that all the time. And they often attract emotionally unavailable partners.
Okay, that's a strange one. So they attract emotionally unavailable. So for the people who don't know, what does that exactly mean?
People that aren't really there to make real connections.
Okay.
They're not really able to get through their own past. They might be tied up in thoughts about an ex. They might just be so deep in their own shit that they can't really emotionally invest in a relationship. But regardless, they're not able to emotionally give 100% into the relationship.
Okay.
But the caretaker might see that as, "Well, I need to do better," or "I can fix them."
I can fix them.
Who, like, hasn't heard somebody say that before? "I can fix
I
them, I
can fix them.
swear." But they may struggle with resentment and burnout from overgiving and never receiving.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're more attracted to people who are emotionally unavailable, I think that makes sense.
Then, next role is called the lost child,
The Lost Child sounds like
also
an
known.
Indiana Jones title. Indiana Jones and the Lost Child.
It just makes me think of Heavy Rain. Jason!
Jason.
Jason! But the lost child is also known as the invisible one, the withdrawn one, and the avoider.
Okay, so it's like Malcolm in the middle child.
I never watched that show. But I know what middle child syndrome is, so I can make assumptions. What do you think they do? What's their role?
To be forgotten.
Which involves what?
Being isolating themselves and keeping themselves away from their family.
Avoidance.
Avoidance.
Yep. Staying
Um,
out of conflict.
maybe being kind of passive.
Mhm. Not demanding attention so they don't add stress to the family.
Um,
What do they struggle with in adulthood?
being noticed. Say.
Ye Yeah.
Uh, um, what
What
else?
might be some of their difficulties in adulthood?
Maybe antisocial skills, something like that. Antisocial.
Antisocial is a heavy term.
Well, not outgoing, introverted, I guess. That's a better way to put it. I don't know these antisocial terms. There's no
That's a
introverted.
personality disorder.
Oh, antisocial?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
That's like what you see in serial killers.
Oh, okay. Well, they could be
That
antisocial.
term is very poorly
It
used
is,
in
'cause
pop culture. It's more asocial when people are withdrawn.
oh, okay.
Antisocial is violating the rights of others and getting a kick out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's against social norms.
Oh,
Asocial is a meaning like unsocial,
yeah.
anti meaning against
It's
social.
social. Ah, okay. I feel like that has never been used correctly in any media, because when you hear antisocial, I think they are not social, not
Mhm.
antisocial norms.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think, don't quote me on this. I think Jeffrey Dahmer's considered antisocial.
okay.
He murdered animals and all
Mhm.
that, like, very antisocial behavior. Anyway, we're not talking about personality disorders.
Anyways, so they may be asocial,
Mhm.
as we'll use the correct term here. Uh,
How might they deal with arguments?
Kinda shut down, I would think. Shut down, just kind of quiet, don't
Mhm.
really talk back or work things out.
So this website says that the lost child struggles with emotional intimacy and self expression. They prefer to avoid confrontation and may be passive or withdrawn. And they often disappear in social or family settings. And they feel a deep loneliness and disconnection, but don't know how to reach out and connect with other people.
Mm,
They're just so used to being forgotten. They don't necessarily know how to
mhm.
connect.
Oh, okay.
Because if you go unnoticed, that means you're not involved in conflict, but that also means that you're lonely
Yeah.
and left out of a lot of things.
Mhm.
And imagine having to heal from that wound as an adult.
Yeah.
You spend all your life trying not to be noticed, you may not even know who you are. If you spend all that time trying to be forgotten, you haven't really had much of a time to develop your interests.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like a lack of identity.
Yeah. I imagine a lost child is a massive identity crisis entering adulthood.
Oh, yeah.
So the next one is called the mascot. They're also known as the clown, the entertainer, and the distractor.
Okay.
What do they do?
Distract. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I would say when there is conflict within the family, they try to either make some light out of it
Mhm.
or try to divert the subject into a different way.
They
Really just trying
lighten
to
the
shift the focus.
mood with jokes, humor, or charm and diffuse tension and bring laughter, distracting from deeper issues.
His tail just went right past your camera.
There's a kitty tail. Oh, I can't touch you. You're going to give me a
You
rash.
can touch her head.
I'll get her side. Hi from Kitty. She says hello. What do you think the clown is like or the mascot is like in adulthood?
Probably wanna be the center of attention. They probably can't handle conflict that well. They may use unnecessary comedy or
Mm,
inappropriate comedy.
big time.
Uh, Maybe they have a harder time reading certain situations because they're so used to trying to make, I guess that kinda plays into they make fun of, like, bad situations, so I guess it's kind of a different wording of that, but I would say probably those.
Pretty much. In adulthood, they use humor as a defense mechanism to hide their real feelings behind jokes. They're often the life of the party, but they struggle with deep emotional wounds. And they might not take problems seriously, even when they should, even if
Mm,
it is a serious problem, because they're so used to turning everything into a joke to
yeah.
deal with it. And they can feel really unseen and unheard because nobody takes them seriously, but they don't really know how to present themselves in a way to be taken seriously.
Mhm.
Last one.
Last one.
the manipulator.
Ooh, okay, so that's kinda
Also,
like the one I mentioned earlier where the evil version of, the fixer.
they're also known as the victim, the martyr, and the mastermind. What do you think they do?
I think it's kind of what I was mentioning, the evil version of the fixer. So they may talk to family members individually and kind of create conflict by maybe talking to one sibling, spreading something, talking to another sibling, saying something else, and creating conflict that doesn't exist between the two,
Mm.
just causing
Your
problems.
example is so perfect. This example here says the sibling that constantly complains about being wronged in terms turns family members against each other.
Mm,
So the manipulator's role is to stir up drama, control others, play the victim to gain attention or resources. Maybe they want some donations. I mean, Danny DeVito's character kind of plays the
yeah.
victim.
I thought you were just gonna say Danny DeVito ended. I'm like, why is he the manipulator?
They may have learned that the only way to get attention or power is through manipulation.
Mhm,
In adulthood, they might be extremely manipulative or emotionally reactive, so they could flip out over basically anything.
mhm,
They often play the victim or use guilt to control others and can create triangulation between family members, which means pitting people against each
mm.
other.
Yeah,
Exactly what you said.
I'm so smart.
So, I'm going to name all of those roles again, and I want you to tell me who's who
Okay.
in Matilda. So there's the golden child,
I think
this
that's never mind. Sorry. I
the
didn't think
scapegoat,
gonna go.
and there can be multiple roles for the same person.
Okay.
So there's the golden child, the scapegoat, the caretaker, the lost child, the mascot, and the manipulator. There's 6 roles.
Okay. Well, the golden child, I would probably definitely say is the son, the Matilda's brother.
He's gonna take on the family
He's gonna take on the
business.
family business. The scapegoat, I
W
would definitely
Wait, wait, wait. What makes him the golden child, though?
well, Danny DeVito, the father character, uh, certainly he's the favorite out of the 2 siblings. He mentions him directly taking over the family business. I think the brother is also a lot more incorporated into family activities, which
He goes along with it.
yeah, he goes along with the family activities. He
Who knows
participates.
if he actually wants to
Oh,
or
yeah.
not? 'Cause
Probably
he doesn't
not.
say shit.
Yeah. But he does still pick on Matilda, so it kinda makes me think that he is for it in a way, like, when he throws the
But
carrot
is
at
that
her.
just a role he's taking on because that's what everyone else is doing, and that's
Mm,
what makes him the good child is to
yeah,
also be against the bad child?
yeah. Um, so I would say those things mainly, in particular, I would say make him the golden child. The scapegoat, I
I
sorry, you
will
say them.
say he's not like the spitting image of the golden child. Oftentimes,
Mm,
it's the kid that strives for straight A's and they're in all the sports and they're overachieving in every way to try to get attention from the family. He is because those things aren't valued in the family, their idea of the golden child is sit down and watch TV and eat TV dinners.
yeah. Yeah, so,
So
yeah,
it
he
looks
doesn't
very
do
different.
much, uh, but what he does makes me think that it
Well, it
aligns with
aligns with the family
yeah.
values. So.
Scapegoat is definitely Matilda. Don't think there's much argument there. I will say maybe to add another character into it, I would maybe say the girl with the pigtails, more so of a school dynamic,
Hmm,
but she's always
true.
blamed by the principal about everything. And not really much to go off of that, but every time the principal interacts with her, she gets in trouble or gets thrown over a
Yeah.
fence. So I'd say she's another character just to make it not Matilda.
Yeah.
But I think it's very obviously Matilda in that family. She doesn't really incorporate with her family when it comes to watching TV. She calls her dad a crook. She is very aware of her surroundings, unlike her family. Like she
Mhm.
knows that the boat salesman, a police officer. She's outspoken and different. So I think it's
Because
very clear
she's
she's
the
a
odd one
scapegoat.
out, it
Yeah,
makes her an easy target
yeah,
to say, "Why don't you just blend in with the rest of us? You must be the problem because you're the only one that's different."
yeah.
Rather than, us 3 all act the same way, and maybe that's the problem. It's so much easier. Let's gang up against the one that's different and say, "Well, you're the only one doing something different, so you must be the problem.
Yeah.
All of us over here are just eating our TV dinners. How dare you read that book? You horrible child. Bad child do bad thing."
I wouldn't say this movie has a fixer or caregiver. I mean, I guess you could say Miss Honey, but
That's kinda what I was thinking.
I just say it probably took me a minute to think of her because she's not really part of the family,
Yeah,
but
well, she becomes Matilda's family.
yeah. Yeah, she does. So, yeah, I guess it would be her, just not really based off much besides that she's, like, the only good person. So and the only person who cares
Well,
for Matilda.
she does become a parentified child because her both of her parents die when she's young,
Yeah.
and she's completely emotionally neglected, so she has to meet her own needs.
Mhm.
And as an adult, she takes on the role of trying to take care of everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so she would be the healer or the fixer. I would maybe say the mother is the comedic one,
The mascot, the
the
clown,
mascot, yeah, I would say she's probably the mascot.
her and her bingo escapades.
Her bingo and how she lets the boat salesman into the house, not really much to go by 'cause it's not like she's, like, trying to she never really diverts conflict or anything.
Yeah, she doesn't really have much of a personality developed outside of just supporting whatever business her husband's doing.
Yeah, which you could say that's more of a mix between the comedic and the middle child where they're passive and just kinda let things happen.
Mhm.
But she also incites the conflict too, like when Miss
Oh,
Honey
yeah,
comes into the
totally.
house and she's like, Could you turn off the TV?" So she's definitely part of it.
Yeah. She cuts the hat off of Danny DeVito's head and says, "You must have glued it on your head.
No, the fabrics of the hat
It
strung.
fused with my scalp."
um, what was missing one?
So the ones we have left are the lost child and the manipulator.
Is the lost child the middle child?
Yeah,
Um, does this movie have a manipulator?
I would say so. You could argue no, but I would say yes. I mean, we have a literal con man character.
I wouldn't say he's a manipulator,
He
though.
manipulates people into buying shit cars. That's his whole job.
I guess, but I just don't think he plays a manipulator role in the family. Like, yeah, he's a manipulator
Well,
in
he
terms of.
plays the victim often, and he controls Matilda.
Mhm.
He acts like, "Oh, bad things happen to me. Ah, why
Yeah.
me?" Rather
Yeah.
than like, "I'm a shit person, so my actions have consequences." He's emotionally reactive. He flips out over Matilda just reading a damn book.
Yeah. Moby Dick. Moby what?
It's lovely. It isn't stupid. It's lovely.
Okay, I guess, yeah, I could see that. I just,
He also pits the kids against each other. He does that triangulation dynamic where he says, "Why can't you just be like your brother?"
mm,
Which, if that plays out in real life, she's gonna hate her brother because he's held in such high regard.
yeah, as the golden child. Really wrapping it back here. And then the middle child, the forgotten one. Could you also say Miss Honey in this situation?
What's your argument?
Well, it's not really much of an argument, that's the issue. So it's
I would say no.
my reasoning for potentially though is once her parents pass away, well, I guess we don't see the relationship with Trenchbull,
That's
but
the
she obviously
thing.
wants
I
out.
feel like she very well could have been the lost child, but we don't see it play out.
But whenever there's conflicts in the classroom with Trenchbull, she she doesn't really say much.
True.
She's very kind of passive. She does say a couple things, like try to correct things and make it a little bit better, but she doesn't
Mm,
really hop into it and do much to subdue the conflict in any way.
that's true. Yeah, she tries to just kind of blend in and not make herself stand out in any
Yeah.
way, just try to stay unnoticed, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could say that.
Who would you have in mind? Because
I was
clearly you had somebody in
thinking the
mind.
son.
Oh, you're thinking also this son?
Mhm. Because we don't really see him say anything. He doesn't really get super involved in conflict. I guess sometimes he does with throwing shit at Matilda and getting mad at her sometimes, but
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He kind of also incites conflict in a
yeah,
way.
that's true. Maybe he's not so much a lost child.
Wow, I changed your opinion.
Not willing to die on every hill. It's simply not worth it. All right. Some last things that I think are good to note here is there are some roles that commonly overlap within the same person. What roles could you see coexisting in one person? What ones seem kind of complementary?
The fixer and the mastermind.
The the golden child and manipulator?
No, the the medic or the fixer,
Oh,
w
um,
the healer or whatever the hell it is.
the
Yeah,
caretaker.
the caretaker and the mastermind I could see being potentially going together. It just depends on what mood they're in.
So the caretaker is more paired with the golden child
Mm,
or the mascot. Those are the 2 that we see the caretaker paired with.
okay.
For the golden child, the star child who takes on emotional labor, managing the moods of parents and siblings, so that's kinda where that overlaps.
Uh-huh.
And then with the mascot, it could be the person that lightens the mood with humor, but also shoulders emotional burdens.
Mm.
For the manipulator, we see that with the golden child sometimes. The person who appears perfect but uses that position to guilt others. Look at Daddy's Money Kid.
Love
Can you
daddies
just
and
see
kids.
that? Like the kid that grows up with their parents' money and it's like, "I'm so proud of my son. He pursued finance. He's so successful. We love him so much." And then he grows up to, have, like, a crypto scam or something like that. He just uses that position of power to
Yeah.
manipulate people with.
That makes sense.
Other roles that we see together include the scapegoat in The Lost Child. The
That
one
makes sense.
who gets blamed might also withdraw, feeling like it's safer just to disappear.
Mm.
And then the last pair that we see is the scapegoat and the parentified child. So the rebellious one may still end up emotionally parenting the family, which we do kind of see that pairing in Matilda
Yeah.
because she tries to keep her parents out of trouble and she tries to tell them they're not boat salesmen, they're police officers, you dumbass.
Yeah, and she destroys the VHS tape, the recording tape, and moves the box around too.
And she's very parentified. She was making entire meals for herself from a very young age.
Yeah.
She is the only one in the family that makes sure her needs are met. If she doesn't meet her needs, nobody else will.
There's some soup on the stove. This is this in a can.
Um, Sometimes people will shift between roles, and it doesn't necessarily happen consciously, but it is a survival tactic. We might shift between roles to um, use the behaviors that keep us the safest. We might shift things to fit family expectations and to meet our emotional needs.
Mm,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting. So I didn't think family dynamics, dysfunctional family roles went so far, so
Yeah.
deep.
There's a lot to it.
So, and it is very applicable to Matilda.
And there's huge implications into adulthood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's a way somebody could work through some roles if they experience this?
Well, the first step is identifying that you're even playing into this role that no longer serves you. Um, Trying to like the lost child. Let's say somebody is the lost child in their family. They might grow up, move out of their house, and say, I have no friends. I have no friends. I have no hobbies. I don't know what to do with myself.
Hmm.
But that's the first step is recognizing, oh, I don't like the role that I'm embodying. This doesn't feel true to me.
Hmm.
And oftentimes it takes a lot of self-exploration, like, who even am I? What
Yeah.
do I enjoy? Stepping into some new things outside of your comfort zone to explore what gives you joy, and, um, it also helps to dig into why you're even embodying that role to begin with. Where does
Mm,
this come from? Is this something that served you in the past? Is this something that still serves you, or is this something that's now actively hurting you?
yeah. Mm. Interesting.
Go
So
to therapy.
go to therapy.
If you recognize that you're falling into any of these roles in adulthood and it's creating problems for you, reach out for help.
Yeah. Or don't if your insurance covers only two therapists like mine. So you can't find any therapists because only two of them covered by your insurance. So very epic.
That's when you reach out to or you have your partner reach out to their therapist and say, "Hey, you got any good colleagues that take this insurance?"
So, but yeah, that covers our coverage of Matilda. We don't really know what we're doing next. I think the next thing we do might be a short YouTube video. So when I say short, I mean like 10, 15 minutes, not a short. So
Yeah, but we
um,
do those too.
we do those too. Uh, but yeah, anything that you like to give off to the people as a passing goodbye?
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy. Unless you only have two insurance providers or two therapists on your insurance.
Yeah. Well, I think oftentimes we don't realize how much dysfunctional family dynamics carry over into hurting us actively in adulthood. And we don't realize how much conscious undoing of things it takes to reach a point in your life where you're satisfied with who you are and the role
Mhm.
you play in this world. So it doesn't hurt to talk to someone.
Mm, yeah, definitely.
If you recognize any of these roles within yourself, like I said, reach out to someone.
Yeah.
Even connect with a sibling if you have a good relationship with them and talk about what they notice.
Mhm. Or maybe call your sibling out and tell them what role they fit into.
"You are a clown.
Just texting your sibling
You're a
that.
fucking clown." My last text to my brother was, "I had a dream last night that when you got pulled over to get your speeding ticket, they made you pose in handcuffs and told you to smile for the pictures while they took pictures of you in handcuffs." So that shows my relationship with my only sibling.
Why would you even dream about that?
He got a speeding ticket. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
not the
I
point
don't
is
know. Shit manifests weird in your dreams. Damn, I don't control it. I have weird ass dreams all the
Any dream
time.
analyzers in chat, let us know what you think.
What does it mean?
But yeah, thank you all for
Freud
listening.
would say it means penis.
Freud thinks anything is penis. It's
No, it's
penis
you
or
wanna fuck your
vagina.
mom.
But yeah, hopefully this video episode comes out good. I hope everything came out good because we are not having headphones on either, so that'd be a big
For the
problem.
first time, so
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for listening.
don't forget to subscribe and follow and all that, and if you like this episode, download it, it helps us out. Leave us a comment, let me know some suggestions for future episodes or topics that you'd like to see us cover or ideas for short videos, TikToks, whatever. We're open to anything at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So leave us a comment. We have one comment from one person on TikTok, and the name was Johnny on the spot. So
Shout out.
shout out Johnny on the spot. Uh,
If you wanna get a shout out, leave us a comment.
you have to sit through an entire episode though.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for listening, and have a good night.
Bye.